Your Psychic Astrocast by YILDIZ Readings 5D, your psychic medium, soul coach, and intuitive astrologer online. Do you want it all in one place? Are you tired of getting less and really wanting more? Are you ready for a better ride? The First Wives Club says it best: don't get mad, get everything. If you're ready for your guidance from point A to point B in love, career, wellness, and more, join our Psychic Astrocast with YILDIZ Readings 5D. Let's get your life roadworthy and ready for success. Get it all with psychic updates, intuitive astrology, soul coaching, and more. Information is power. Welcome to our Psychic Astrocast online with YILDIZ Readings 5D. Yes, we are going to dive into the what, why, where, when, and how, and have a look at what's coming up this month to best navigate it. We'll first look back at last month to make some sense and context of it, and then into the must-know transits for the month. Yes, we have all areas covered. You can stream forward and stream back to the area of concern, and please feel free to visit us online at yildizreadings.com for your VIP edition. These are covered bi-monthly, and yes, as I mentioned, in the future, these may become a weekly edition. Now, those of you that are keen to really understand what went down last month to help you best navigate moving forward, especially if you were really up in your head to do with a particular area in your life, I'm going to help you make some context of that. Separately, we're then going to get straight into the updates for the big boy transits for the month of July 2022. If you do wish to, you can stream forward into the section that you find is most interesting or important to you at this point in time. Without further ado, let's take a look down memory lane. Now, yes, we did have quite a heavy transit last month, and especially due to the fact we were having a double Mercury retrograde. Even though it did go direct by the 3rd, shadow direct, it was a double Mercury retrograde. And during Mercury retrogrades, as we all know, they can be quite tedious. This one, being a double whammy, did cause a lot of conflict. We may have seen in the collective, in our working environment, lack of staff, extra burdens with their schedules, stress levels, and conflict mentally and physically. We had a full moon on the 14th in Sagittarius. Now, yes, this again did take us back to the past, all the way back to the eclipse season in 2021. So if you can remember back, very much linking to when we had a Venus retrograde, we did have an eclipse in Sagittarius. So psychically, I was picking this would feel a little bit like an eclipse, and it was because it was ending that cycle. So if you can think back to 2021 and situations that you personally were dealing with, you were closing that cycle. Now, Neptune also was gearing up, ready to go retrograde by the 28th of July. This did come very close to that new moon in Cancer, which are the themes that we will be moving into the month of July 2022 with. The other thing I can say is, due to the fact we are so close at the end of the month moving into July with that, those are themes that will continue into the month of July 2022. This can be a time where things become very transparent, very realistic. Initially, we may experience it and feel a little bit disillusioned, unsafe, and projectile. So, forewarned, forearmed. Now, the must-know for July 2022, as mentioned previously, is the recovery of Neptune retrograde. During that cycle, in the area of Pisces, you will be quality assuring and taking a very realistic approach. Retrogrades don't have to be negative. They're a time of introspection and adjustment. This month, we have a full moon in Capricorn and a new moon in Leo. We also have JUNO, the asteroid of marriage, moving retrograde, which can at a collective level cause triggers within relationships, be it you're single or couple. Those blasts from the past, like Venus retrograde, can occur. I'm hosting a webinar on the 12th if you want that added support. Moreover, this does retrograde on the 24th of July. Deep healing, we do have Aries in Chiron moving retrograde on the 19th of July. This also can be a time where we can reflect, we can heal, and we can gain extra courage to deal with any of those emotional challenges. Jupiter also by the 19th will move retrograde when it does come to expansion, transformation, and jumping in the deep end. We may feel that we're going backwards. Now, this doesn't have to be a negative thing. This can be a time within our charts and within our lives where we are reflecting and quality assuring those actions and steps forward for 2024. Welcome back, Gemini, to your Psychic Astrocast. Yes, this month in the mix can bring some added emotions up, especially when it does come to how you see things. We did last month have the new moon in Cancer, as well as a full moon in Sagittarius that was directly hitting your Venus house. In the mix, moving forward, you may still be recovering from what previously went down. And yes, it wasn't so much that Mercury hadn't gone direct, but it most definitely, with Neptune gearing up ready to go retrograde, did make us quite foggy and fatigued. This update is for 2 weeks, and what I'm seeing coming up with you is a bridging of the gap when it does come to your courage and your self-esteem, and I feel you could be quite bold. There can be some intensity in the first week in the realm of love, especially if you are tuning into that honey. Now, later on in the month, we are having Juno, the marriage asteroid, retrograding, and this can bring people from the past back. Already, we may see some of these things due to the fact that Neptune is now in retrograde, and so there can be these shadow things coming up. There can be subjects to do with, how could I put it? Dirty little secrets, skeletons in the closet coming out. So you may find such. Now, Mercury will enter into the house of Cancer on the 5th. So at first, you're going to find, moving through the house of Gemini, you're going to be really looking at what you can and can't do. There can be this super independence. You might feel you have a lot on your plate and you've got a lot to say. As it moves into the house of Cancer, you could have a bit more courage. You could be like really feeling as though you need to address certain things, the elephant in the room, so to speak. As we move towards the second week, especially because we'll have Mars in Taurus by the 5th, you can be up in your head quite a bit and you might need to look after yourself. I do see you wanting to speak your truth and potentially trying to get the page back on the right table. I do feel a lot of you could have love interests coming in, but the question is going to be, are you open to it? Now, number 2 is, as we do move to the second week of July 2022, there is an emotional connection that is a potential. You may have that Dutch courage to speak your mind to a honey, or it could be that this person at a heart-centered level speaks directly to you. As we move towards the full moon in Capricorn, you may want to dive deep and you can be feeling a little bit triggered, like you're on a desert island and there's nobody around. Now, that's not to say it is, but you could dive deep with this individual, and you also could be attracting people, linking to co-workers, meeting at gyms, as well as in your social circle. Now, this month we have Juno retrograde, Chiron and Aries retrograding, as well as Jupiter moving retrograde. And for you, this does hit your 11th house. Now, your hopes, dreams, and aspirations and your purpose are going to be up in the mix for a reflection. You could feel that you have a lot on your plate. You might feel very ambitious. There can be enhancement in this domain, and you're definitely not going to be without an offer and an invitation. We will tune into this later in the month in Volume 2, should you wish to come and join us. We also have the VIP edition online at YILDIZreadings.com if you wish to dive deeper into this, where we do cover both twin flame path as well as your ascension symptoms, business, and more. Now, if you and your boo had plenty of time to talk things through, I do feel there's a lot of action this month, especially in the first week. It can be quite important to understand the intensity, and I think we will all see such. There can be some challenges, especially when it does relate to the things that we can depend on. Potentially, trying to clear through the rubble, feeling a little bit like a tsunami and coming out the other side. Now, there could also be some things surrounding your love interest at the moment that is transforming. This can be to do with their family. It may be a legacy or an inheritance. It might have been that a loved one passed over. It also can be that their career sector is evolving and changing. Now, your investments also in tying up debts will come up in the pace. and the bigger picture of really repositioning yourself. I'm really seeing a big subject to do with maybe potentially even getting a loan. Yes, there can be sugar and spice and all things nice, but be careful of that communication, gems, especially this month for both Gemini and Virgo. It can be a little bit intense. Pace yourselves, beautifuls. The best is yet to come. Now, I do feel if there were delays in the area of career, you may be looking at the bigger picture. Have I got enough? And, you know, it's really funny because when we look in layman's terms at career, we're generally looking at the physical task we're doing. But in this term, I do feel you're looking at your creativity and your soul being fed, as well as, is this taking me to my goal in mind? And for some of you, that is more so financial than it being a physical, I love this career. Some of you also are launching a project and maybe having to go backwards to go forwards. And I do feel particularly there can be some intensity in the first 2 weeks of July. And last but not least, we must be careful of reading all fine print, security, as well as trusting our instincts. Now, yes, we may get a little bit grumpy. Be cautious of who that is getting directed at. Now, yes, many of you maybe are looking to have a brighter future when it does come to your wellness. And I do feel with last month's transits, it did feel a little bit like it kicked our butt, especially for your star sign. Now, you do have transits occurring in the 12th house. It is going to be important to keep that fluid up. Definitely try and avoid any pacifiers or going to extremes with drinking. That may cause more dramas than good. You know, Mars in that placement, we could get ourselves into a little bit of a pickle and overextend ourselves. Like I said, more accident prone. So just be careful with that 12th house, especially with volatility and anger. I do dive deeper into this inside our VIP subscription. That does cover your chakras, wellness and tips. Second star sign that I have this for, which is a very separate kind of update to what the VIP's got. Now, this could be that I am tuning into different individuals. Now, with your star sign, I just get this real giddy energy. I get the taking the hair down. Some of you, I can see you on a beach and there's a little bit of a party. This could be a metaphor or it could be the direct location. And I feel I can see your hair down. I can see you maybe at a social event and there's Dutch courage. I don't know why this comes through. I am being shown to be careful near water. Be super careful around water at the moment. Also around people that you trust. And I don't get any bad vibe. I just feel be careful going near water if intoxicated. That's all I can say. Separately, what I do see is you could be going on a little bit of a road trip and that might come out of nowhere. So, you know, tell me how it lands. But I'm seeing you jumping in a car and going somewhere. This could be for a direct reason. I.e., and it doesn't feel like an emergency, you just feel spontaneous. You're extremely spontaneous. So caution of that courage, caution of that Dutch courage, rather. Love and light. I'll see you for volume 2. Thanks for joining our Psychic Astrocast online with YILDIZ Readings 5D. If you haven't downloaded the app, please do so. Yes, you can actually get your posts on the go. Bookings, webinars, updates, notifications, and more. We also provide YouTube notifications if you didn't know. Yes, we will see you for each edition online with YILDIZ Readings, potentially more to come. Have a blessed month.